We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
Same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Oh, that's right. We are fighting them until we can't. And welcome on into the United Resistance Show. We are on episode 54. Man, the episodes are just flying by. Seems like, my goodness. It was just a little while back. We had the 50th episode. So that was a feat. And now we're closing in on 55 as of next week. So yeah, we're cruising right along. But it's good to see everybody here in the chat this evening. My goodness, we've got 15 people watching already. So we've got a ton of folks here. Tina Bojan's in the house. Of course, Gap After Dark is here. And Gap, I hope you're feeling better. You had a little fall, and I know he's listening in the background. So Gap, speedy recovery, get back to 100%. Hope you're feeling better soon. Our buddy Big John DeVelvis is in the house. What's going on, Big John? I'm hearing an echo. It's probably from Will, because Will is joining by phone this evening. And
I had it on mute. Wasn't me.
Okay, good.
Is it me?
I don't know. Somebody might have a YouTube window open or something. But want to say what's up to Papa Cotton. What's going on? We have Keely Chow in the house. What's up? Been feeding ducks lately. Trinoculus P is in the house. What's up, Trinoculus? Trina is here. A Lasso of Truth. She makes sure that you catch her real horror stuff that she does on Wednesdays. Trina's channel is starting to take off. We want to make sure to continue that growth. So check out Trina's stuff if you're a fan of horror, and you will have a good time on Trina's channel. Pinocchio's Helicopter Tours is here. What is up, Tony? Great to see you. Kronos is here. Great to see Kronos this evening. Rita is here, of course. I see her chilling in the chat, and that also means Dwayne probably isn't far behind. So what's up to Dwayne? Sean Eastup is here. What's up, Sean? Papa Cotton, I think I mentioned you, but look, it's great to see you as always. And Tobat's in the house. Got Tobet here, and Mr. CCDV is in the house. I think Mr. CCDV wants to join in at some point. I'll see, dude. We have kind of a fixed panel on this program, so if there's time permitting, we'll see if I can get you on. But yeah, wow, we've had a lot going on since our last episode. Because correct me if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Will. I don't think we did an episode last week.
That is correct. We did not.
Okay, so yeah, there's been a lot that's happened since. Hail Time Prophet, great to see you. Also, our favorite Dr. Adega Outlaw is in the house. What's up, Adega? Yeah, there was a lot that happened. Obviously, the speaker vote being probably the biggest one. We also have seen. Oh my God, Terminus! He is now Sperminus Est. we actually coined Terminus Sperminus Est as of Midnight Prism on Sunday. It was just because I had a Freudian slip and I said Sperminus. I meant to say Terminus. So.
Is his new catchphrase, skeet skeet?
Yeah. Skeet skeet. But yeah, it's weird getting used to this format, and I'll tell you folks, because we can't really curse according to YouTube now, because apparently that's a no-no. So I don't know what in the world YouTube is changing things around for, but I do believe it is basically to let's be real. It's to tighten down the censorship on people, and that's what it is. You're never going to win with these guys. YouTube is owned by Google. Google is in with the globalists. You guys know that. Everybody understands that, and this is why there is a rush to the alt platforms like Odyssey, like the things like Rumble is becoming a big thing now, alternative wise. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing a growth because of the continued attempts at censorship. Look what they're doing with Wes Moody's channel right now. He's under strike for no other reason than he's being targeted by YouTube. So again, they're going after Whatevercast. After all that's happened with Wes and the old Wes Moody webcast channel, now they're coming after Whatevercast, which I gotta say, that's a bad look, YouTube. And you can continue to try to come after us, but we're going to continue to double down our efforts on getting to the truth, no matter where it leads. So in the end, it's a zero-sum game. You guys can try to shut us up. You guys can try to shut us out, but we're not going to stop what we're doing. We're not going to stop reporting on things. And that leads me into tonight. I want to say hi to Jason Fox of 540 Studio. What's going on? But let's start off with talking about the Puppet Masters before we get into the puppets. So I threw a link in the chat earlier about the Davos group having their annual meeting. So let's go ahead and share this, because I have the tab open. And this is something important for everybody that understands, and for those of you out there that might fall into the category of normies, or if you don't quite have the whole picture yet, understand this. Okay, the World Economic Forum and their ilk are pulling the strings of the governments around the world. And they are having their annual meeting in Davos, in Switzerland. Davos clusters from January 16th to the 20th. This meeting will bring together 2,700 leaders from 130 countries, including 52 heads of state and government. Klaus Schwab himself has said, "We penetrate the cabinets," and let me tell you, they have been successful. All right,
And that's a direct quote.
our processes have been infiltrated and taken over by globalist interests. So for those of you that think we have free and fair elections, or that our own Congress is working for us, or anything like that, you have maybe 5% of your elected government actually trying to work in your interest. The rest of it is part and parcel, belongs to these unelected groups that are attempting to sway all of the world order globally. I mean, they are trying to fundamentally change and take away the sovereignty of every single nation. And you can say, oh, it's tinfoil hat, or you could say, oh, these people are conspiracy theorists. No, we're giving you fact, all right? Because what they want ultimately is a one world state. And I want to bring the list in here. The top political leaders taking part include, and just pay attention to this, Olaf Scholz, Federal Chancellor of Germany; Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission; Roberta Metsola, President of the European Parliament; Yoon Suk-yeol, President of the Republic of Korea; Cyril Ramaphosa, President of South Africa; Pedro Sanchez, Prime Minister of Spain; Alain Berset, President of the Swiss Confederation and Federal Counselor of Home Affairs; Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan; Alexander De Croo, Prime Minister of Belgium; Gustavo Francisco Petro Orrego, President of Colombia; Felix Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo; Sanna Marin, Prime Minister of Finland; Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Prime Minister of Greece; Leo Varadkar, I'm not sure how to pronounce this word, Taoiseach of Ireland; Maya Sandu, President of the Republic of Moldova; Aziz Akanek, Head of the Government of Morocco; Mark Rutte, Prime Minister of Netherlands; Ferdinand Marcos, President of the Philippines. I can't believe the Marcoses are still in power, by the way. Andrzej Duda, President of Poland; Alexander Vucic, President of Serbia; Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania; Nalia Boden, Prime Minister of Tunisia. Now, look at these other names down here. John Kerry, Avril Haines, U.S. Director of National Intelligence; Martin J. Walsh, Secretary of Labor of the United States; Catherine Tai, United States Trade Representative; Chrystia Freeland, all you Canadians in the chat, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of Canada; Christine Lagarde, President, European Central Bank. Say that again, European Central Bank. Head of international organizations taking part include Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General; Kristalina Georgieva, Managing Director, International Monetary Fund. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General, World Trade Organization. Jens Stoltenberg, Secretary General, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. There you go. You also have Catherine Russell, Executive Director of UNICEF. I mean, and Mirjana Spoljaric Egger, President, International Committee of the Red Cross. All right. Just so we have an understanding what these people are into, what they're all about, these are all shilling for the globalists. These are the people saying, hey, it's okay to depopulate. It's okay that, we continue to push vaccines on people that do not want them. These people are the evil of the evil, the worst of the worst. And they're in high level positions. So I hope that you're understanding the whole picture here as to how badly infiltrated every single country across the globe is at this point. So we'll go ahead and throw some thoughts to the panel.
Well, first of all, I mean, for all you Canadians listening, and you're wondering why isn't your prime minister there? Well, he was too busy with his scheduled photo op down by the border with President Biden today.
Well, I would not be surprised at some point if you see when the WEF starts posting the footage, because they love to post their propaganda clips when they have that big meeting every year. You're going to probably see a president, the likes of a President Biden there. You're going to see Trudeau make an appearance there. All the world leaders, they love.
Oh, they're probably they're both on the Concorde as we speak.
The Time Prophet says, Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak, our Prime Minister of Britain, is going to Davos. They are all under the thumb. Yes, they do. It's bad. It is bad. And so many people gloss over this. And, especially when we look at normies and people that don't understand, or people that are stuck in the minutia of national politics. And yes, the politics in our country matter, no matter which country you live in individually, at your federal level and at, the local levels, the politics do matter in your country. But what I'm trying to tell you is they're being dictated by mandates from on high, from this organization. They are not functioning as they should. And that is what I want to get across to people, so that you understand just exactly what you are up against. You are living in an authoritarian system under the guise of, quote, democracy. Brightest day, hello. Great to see BD, and great to see the lovely Sherry. Love you guys.
Yeah, I mean, with this whole, the meeting in Davos, it's pretty much business as usual. Once again, we all know they're coming together. They're during the day going to go out and talk about. The craziest part about all of this stuff was we still have so many people out there who just believe that this whole World Economic Forum, global government trying to, sway governments all over. They think that it's just this wild, crazy conspiracy theory. And it's like they have a website. They take video, they put it up there, they tell you what they're going to do. They constantly talk about depopulation. They constantly talk about centralizing power. And they constantly talk about using whatever natural disaster that comes around in order to push more of their policy and take more control. But for some reason, when we point it out, we're crazy conspiracy theorists. So it's just more business as usual. And then at night, they're going to have their weird Eyes Wide Shut parties.
Well, what I hear,
Go ahead, Janet.
what I hear a lot is how they say, well, they've been doing this forever. And it hasn't hurt us so far, really, that kind of comment. The thing is that they don't realize that each time we get our feet in deeper and deeper, they bring more and more of it back to our government. Okay. And just this last week, when we did the Speaker of the House thing, I've had so many young people send me DMs and stuff saying they didn't understand a lot of things that were going on during the House thing about how Robert's Rule of Orders works, all the different procedures that were followed during the whole thing, because they don't understand anything about government. They don't understand how things work. They don't understand the influences from other countries, like climate change, all these different things about the lowering the population of the earth, and just all these different things, and how when you exhale and fart, you're ruining the environment, and all this stuff. They just don't understand it. They don't understand how it's ever going to affect them, and until it does come slap them upside the head, they're just not going to really do anything. And by then, when I talk to them, as I said, it's too late then. So you need to research it, read up on it, and understand, so that the next chance you have to talk to someone about this, what could be coming up in the next election locally when it comes to climate change, by how you have to recycle and you have to do this and do that and stuff because it's ruining the environment. I'm not saying I want you to throw stuff in the woods. I want you to clean up after yourself. But just because you burp and fart, does that mean you should have to pay more money? I mean, and plus, if we're the only country in the world that even does it, when you have China and India and all these other countries just pumping stuff left and right, why do we have to pay the brunt of it? Why are we always the biggest amount of money, and they don't realize it. It's coming out of their checks already. They're already working their jobs, and they don't even know what their money is being going to. You see, so, and all this money to Ukraine, all the different things, and it's all because of the influences from other countries, and we're letting them do it because we don't understand. Not me or any of us, but most people don't understand how any of this stuff affects them. And the only way they're going to find out is if people sit down with them and explain to them, this affects us this way. And by us talking about it tonight is a small way of us informing people that they need to look into more things, because they don't realize how this can hurt us later on, especially if we join in and start, buckling down and saying, you're going to do it this way or else you're going to go to jail.
I want to say Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, $2 super chat. And thank you, Tony, for that. He said, did you know Kerry is related to two people who killed JFK? Yes, dude. And this is the thing. Remember, Kennedy, and you can like or you can hate JFK because, he had his own skeletons. That whole family has their own skeletons. But there are a number of family members in that family that actually are dedicated to American ideals, and JFK was one of them, and he was going to blow the whistle on all of this nonsense, which I am still convinced cost him his life. That is what ultimately cost him his life, between blowing the whistle on all of this and all of the corruption within, even back at that time, the three-letter agencies. So, that's what cost him his life in the end. They were going to shut him up one way or the other. They weren't going to let that come out. I want to also shout out Godzillionaire. It's great to see you, brother. I don't know if I shouted you out earlier, but thank you for being here, and thank you for wrenching, bro. Appreciate you. But Godzillionaire had made a comment, and he said something. Oh man, I lost it. It disappeared already.
You're talking about the was expecting more owl statues.
Yes, more owl statues. Yes. Glenzer, hail to you, brother. Glenzer says that list reminded me of a movie called The International with Clive Owen. Yeah. And it's creepy as fuck when you look at it, and you look at the amount of people that are involved with this. And we didn't even touch on the different tentacles of the World Economic Forum, like all their different little quote programs, the young global leaders and all that stuff. They're installing their own people across the globe into high-level positions in these governments, positioning them to eventually assume the full-on leadership of certain countries. And it's pretty funny, the one thing, and I know this will be controversial, and there'll be somebody here that says, "Oh, Drew, you're anti-Semitic for making this next comment," but I'm going to say it anyway because listen, I never apologize for what I say, and I will own the comments I make. And what I'm going to tell you is, conspicuously, you never barely hear Israel's name mentioned in this. And it isn't because Israel is corruption free. It's because they keep a shadow of secrecy over it because they don't want you to know. You know, I can tell you, you know, if you take somebody like our friend Tehillim, for example, or plenty of other Israeli people. There are a number of very great people that live in that country, but their government and organization, their intelligence community, Mossad, they have been involved and tied up with the global elite for decades upon decades upon decades themselves. So they are not immune. And they've committed atrocities on their own people. So again, we have to be careful, when you talk about the countries and the leaders and the people involved. The citizenry in these countries are, by and large, great people. But you do have to, and it's our duty to call out the bad actors. And you can make that assertion and call out the bad actors without coming out with blanket generalizations. Because, we know that amongst human beings, everybody's fallible, number one. And we also know, number two, that evil exists. There are plenty of evil human beings. It doesn't matter what your race, color, or creed is. That is just how it is. So, yes, we should call out the bad actors.
Well, I think that Alex Jones put it pretty well not too long ago. I think he was on somebody's show. I can't remember, but he was basically, they were talking about him being anti-Semitic in the same way. And he was saying that, we can point out things that we know are true. Like, for instance, when we look at a lot of these WF meetings, when we look out at Bilderberg and things like that, we can point out things that are true. Like there's a predominance of Semitic people on these particular councils without putting the entirety of the blame on the people themselves. It's, we can point out truth without being racist, because it's not like it's every single Jew is doing this. It's not like we're saying that the only way to fix this is, a final solution. That's not what we're saying. We're just pointing out something that's true. Kind of like how the 1352 meme has become, that gets construed as racist. It's like, well, it's not racist if what we're saying is true. It's statistically bared out in front of us, and pretending that it's not there because you're worried about being called racist is disingenuous both to yourself and to the people you're talking to.
No, this is a global problem. It's a worldwide issue. And, there are people involved in this organization that are of every race, color, and creed. It spans everyone. So you have to call out the bad actors, absolutely, and you can do that without generalizing groups. Is all I'm saying. So that's what that's an important distinction to make. And that shuts down the typical like leftist and people that blindly follow along. That shuts down their argument because they say, "Oh my God, you're racist." It's like, no, I just gave you exactly the pinpoint of what we're talking about. And that's what and that's what's important. Time Prophet says, actors of Black descent are now complaining they can't play villains anymore. I wouldn't be surprised though, but again, all right, you can go to that. I was in a Twitter space actually last night, and a shout out to Phenomenology that was hosting it. She was really awesome, but we had a gentleman come in there, typical hard leftist progressive Democrat that was just like, you could tell this guy facts, give him video, anything. And this guy would just completely rebut it, say, oh, that's not real, blah, blah, or try to make some ridiculous assertion. And I had another great YouTuber I like, Alpha Warrior, who hosts the Alpha Warrior show, was in that space as well. And he backed me up because I said, he was trying to say, oh, racial violence hasn't gone up at all. And I said, I'd like to beg to differ with you, sir. I said, how about Black on Asian violence, which has gone up exponentially, at least about 300%, and that is bared out statistically, if you'd like to see it. And the guy's like, oh, that doesn't happen. I said, really? I said, that happened in my own town. And Alpha stepped in on the mic. He's like, yeah, Drew's right. It has gone up. And he named off the exact numbers. And he even told this guy. And this guy just sat there as, this gentleman was African American. He just sat there and said, oh, that don't happen. I said, really? Because, it's directly happened to me in the city that I live in. Back when I was in my 20s. I'll never forget it. I was at a 7-Eleven not far from my house. My friend and I were sitting in my vehicle, and we were just having a conversation, talking to one another. These guys walked up to the car and just reached in and started assaulting me. And they just said, don't ever come back to this city, man. Blah, blah, blah. Don't ever come back to Luray. And and look, I had to decipher their language because I'm not fluent in Ebonics. So it kind of sounded like, don't ever come back, but don't ever come back. But I was like, I finally deciphered it. But the thing was that happened. And it was unprovoked. I certainly wasn't paying attention to them. I was sitting there talking with my friend. Nothing was said to these guys. They just saw an Asian guy and decided to pummel this Asian guy. And, that experience, I understand what's happening with the Black on Asian violence. And mind you, this was years ago, but the Black on Asian violence has gone up.
I mean, if we want to,
look
a completely
at San Francisco.
condensed, exactly, a condensed version of it was the LA riots. That's where you got the rooftop Koreans from.
Yeah.
Was that because of the Rodney King verdict?
Yes. Originally, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, to be fair, that was screwed up. I mean, Rodney King wasn't exactly right in the situation, but damn, they went too far on it.
I wonder what ethnicity Reginald Denny was.
The thing I don't understand about any of it is the fact that people get so upset and they go and they take a total stranger and pull them out of their car and beat them with bricks. Why? How does that help?
That's the guy.
Yeah. I know, but what I'm saying is, how does hurting totally innocent people that had nothing to do with any of it, looting, rioting, burning and stuff, property that had nothing to do with the person that actually hurt them, well, I just don't understand the mentality of anybody doing that to total innocent people.
They were burning off rage, anything that was around them. I mean, I'm not justifying their actions.
No, I know. I just can't understand it. I just don't understand why anyone wants to hurt. You're hurt. Okay. You got hurt because someone else hurt you when you did nothing. So when you have other people that are mad and go out and do the exact same thing, you're doing exactly to other total strangers what happened to the person that you're upset about. It's just
No one's questioning whether or not it's. Of course, it's an irrational response. I mean, that goes without saying.
I don't. I wish they could explain to me why tearing up other people's things or hurting other people helps them deal with it. I think
Well,
it's okay to do that.
If you
I
want
would
it
like
broken
to see-
down very simply, the woke breaker put it succinctly because people are idiots. But look,
I guess
will
I can go
say-
with that.
I will say this, and I want to get to Glinzer's comment first. Living in the Bay Area, I've seen lots of PSAs against anti-Asian violence. No video footage is ever shown. Yeah, and that's true.
That footage is racist.
You know, Tommy in the Game Pig Collective says, "Oh yeah, and welcome, Tommy. Great to see you."
Well, I'm sorry, but Stephen, once you single out the group, even if you're trying to defend them, I mean, that in itself is offensive. So that's just how it is now.
All right. Let me get to Tommy's comment. He says, "Oh yeah, Janet, I burn every anthill around my house, whether they are fire ants or not." Nice, Tommy. The Papa Cotton, he says, "I met Rodney King. He got drunk and stupid. We kicked him out of the bar. He got into a fist fight in the parking lot. F that guy. He's an a-hole."
Like I said, I'm not saying he was right. He was absolutely wrong in the instance. I'm just saying that the cops went too far, and it's the kind of thing that I wouldn't want to happen to anybody.
Well, the racial thing is so just gaslit and just it's just made such I mean, it's always inflamed, like all day, every day. We're bombarded with it. The racial tension is always inflamed because it's intended to be inflammatory. They want to basically instigate that race war. Remember the old footage of Charlie Manson saying, "Oh, there's going to be a race war." Well, look, they are trying to instigate that race war. They want that. And there's so many willfully ignorant or just weak-minded individuals, and it doesn't matter again what your race, color, or creed is. There's too many weak-minded people that fall for it. Because a lot of times it's being done by A, grifters, or B, just people that are operatives that are looking to make this a societal distraction.
Well, to me, I don't really see so much the race war part of it. What I'm seeing is a war between conservative and liberals, because there's
the way I see it, though,
blacks and Hispanics on both sides, and they're all fighting each other like you would have seen in the past over race issues and stuff like that. But now it's because of my point of view doesn't agree with yours, and it doesn't really matter what your skin color is. I mean, they make fun of you for your point of view more than they do what your skin color is. I see it all the time on all different types of social action apps and stuff. And it's that's what I'm seeing more and more and more of, is they're splitting us by our views, or whether you're religious, whether you're not religious, whether you're this religion or that religion, whether you believe in gay marriage, all that stuff. They're splitting us on how we see ourselves as a family unit.
You just said it.
Our friends.
You just said it. The fact is, Drew, you're right. It doesn't matter. Race, creed, ethnicity, whatever. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, when these things happen, the mainstream media immediately puts those people into a box, and that box is either whether like, even if they're half black, they're black. If they, the point is, you are what they say you are according to the populace. Mm-hmm. As a result of where you get your information, how you're being talked about. It doesn't matter what you really are. It doesn't, and it really, you know what I mean?
Well, the weak-minded people have succumbed to the propaganda, and a lot of the people that believe this nonsense, because it is nonsense, because most people we that are free thinkers. And that's why I love the audience that I have, because, whether you're a free thinker or a normie and you're catching yourself up to speed, the ability to think freely is demonstrated time and again. And just by the level of the way that our audience participates with us every week, that right there is a testament to you guys out there in the crowd right now that understand how to be discerning about what you hear. But the thing is, not everybody is that discerning. And then we get people that are easily gaslit into stupidity. And that's why you have like all of this right now BS. And a lot of it is as well the grifters. I mean, I have no problem telling people, and I've gotten called racist before by pointing out, oh, by the way, BLM was a grift of the highest order. But that is factual, because the top 3 leaders in that organization made off with over, $80 million or more. And, they're sitting there with lavish property, lavish cars, and not one thing was done to help the Black community. Where was that money given back to the Black community? Where were community centers built? Where were, jobs programs started, or entrepreneurship programs? Where was that kind of help? BLM did nothing for Black people other than stoke racial tension so that they could make a quick buck and jet off into the night. And a lot of the people, and I've researched this, a lot of the people on the international Black Lives Matter board they come from where? The Communist Party of America. And funny enough, a lot of their board internationally, and here's a nice little dirty secret they won't tell you, are white people. They are white liberals. What did Malcolm X say? The worst thing that there is for Black people are white liberals? Yes, that's exactly it.
But lots of you it's starting to realize that. And then once they become that and their eyes are open, they're chastised by other people from their community because of their points of view, not because of their skin color.
Yep.
Just another example
Because
of
they've been Uncle Tom'd or whatever it is, the horrible comments that they use on each other, which is terrible. I mean, I think a person should be judged on their character. And I try to tell other people, if you can look at other people and judge them on their character and how they treat you, then, if we were all blind, what kind of world would we live in where nobody could see each other's skin color and we had to go by the way people treated each other? I think, it'd be way better.
It's just another example. It's just another example of, just another added onto the endless list of people who are profiting from splintering the same group down the middle and making off like bandits. Sorry, Drew, go ahead.
All right, what I was going to say was, if you look at the tactics used and everything else, all of this, the change of meaning of certain words, the weaponization, for example, of the people that I like to call the T Mafia, unleashing them. A lot of those are paid operatives. They are intentionally stoking mislabeled what they quote discrimination in order to A, profit, and B, create chaos. They are agents of chaos. Listen, most people don't care if somebody's what they do in their bedroom. They don't care if they feel like they want to, if it's a dude that wants to dress like a chick, if it's a chick that wants to dress like a dude, fine, whatever. Nobody, honestly, most people could care less. But what it boils down to is you have this group within that claim that is the loudest voice, for example, of of trans people, and the average trans people that don't believe in this nonsense, they don't say a word because they're browbeaten by this, smaller but louder community within their community. So the Team Mafia basically are the ones that go around dogpile, cancel people,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a lot of power because you have these ultra progressive journalists that back them, and the big media backs them, and so they're able to have their voice amplified in order to get people fired or get people, get businesses closed. I mean, it's ridiculous. We saw what just happened with that gaming company, Stephen. And
limited run games.
yes, and
Yeah, fuck them.
it was absolute nonsense. There was
What
no.
happened?
Oh,
I haven't heard about that.
They fired someone for.
Go ahead, Stephen. Tell
Oh, sorry. They fired someone for basically one of their employees had followed libs of TikTok, and
Mhm.
they were that's basically what it really boiled down to. But it's also because they liked a couple of posts for the new Harry Potter game, and because J.K. Rowling is a TERF, as they like to say, which really she's just a standard feminist that wants to maintain feminism from like what it was 30 years ago as opposed to what it is now.
For women.
Exactly,
Your
she wants it
DNA
for
is a woman.
For real women.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's people with
I understand.
wombs, as they call them now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so.
For
yeah,
real
they
women.
basically-
Wasn't it a Maya Angelou book? No, forget it.
Yeah.
I don't think she meant it that way. Moving on.
That's terrible. But that's
Yep.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's if you have the wrong point of view, you're out.
Yeah. Mehdi says, how can these woke professors get grant money for their studies if racism, sexism isn't seen on TV as some real threat to society? Yeah, it's crazy. Binary Recoil, what's going on, buddy? Great to see you, Binary. The Quartering put up a video earlier. Disney has lost 43 to 44% of their value in the last year, 123 billion, pushing the woke narrative and agenda. And the problem is, Binary, is they're not going to stop. You're not going to see the entertainment sectors, whether it is in movies, television, video games, even the sports. They're not going to slow down. The NFL is starting to back away from woke a little bit because they're not one to lose money. But baseball is not going to stop. Basketball is going to continue with it because they have woke leaders running the NBA, and oh my God, we don't want to offend black people because largely outside of a few of the
Careful.
outside of the few people in the league that are based, as far as some of the players, most of the players in the league are duped into following the grift. And so,
So how much, I mean, once they lose over half their value, you'd think they're going to start changing. So all we have to do is tell people don't buy tickets. Don't watch it on TV. Don't let them make money from the commercials. Stop paying for them to stuff woke down your throat. If we can do that and actually get them, they're losing money. So people are turning it off. People aren't going to Disney. They aren't buying Disney's crap, and it's hurting them. But it's just going to take a couple more years before they finally start going, well, God, we got to do something because, we can't afford to pay the employees, or they're going to animate everything. I mean, how much money do they have to lose before they realize that this is not going to work anymore?
So
Well,
I agree.
Go ahead, Stephen.
I agree with you, Janet. We should not be funding our enemies in that way. However, there's the issue of ESGs. Razorfist a few weeks ago put out a video on his channel, The Rageaholic. Everybody should go watch it, about how it's not get woke, go broke. It's go broke, get woke, because of ESGs affecting credit scores, because we now have essentially a social credit system for companies, not for the individual. So when the companies start going broke, they get woke. That then raises their credit score, and they're able to raise their stock prices, take out more in loans, keep the ball rolling, essentially. Now, the problem is that's going to eventually, essentially create a bubble within their own stock that will one day
It's going to
pop.
cave.
Yeah.
It's going to end up bursting. Yes. Just like what happened with the housing market with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, all that. It will explode, and then they're going to want us to bail them out. That's the thing. And then we all have to stand up and say, no, we stopped buying your crap with our money willingly, and now you're going to force us to buy your crap by bailing you out. So we are the ones that can do it. We can do this if we just say we're sick of their crap and we're not taking it anymore, and we're not bailing them out, and stay that way. And they'll either buck it up and change the way they're doing things, or they'll just go out of business. Someone else will buy them and hopefully run it differently.
What's going on with Disney is just like, it's not humorous, but it's ironic in the way that, like, I wonder what their, obviously all inclusive creator is thinking about this.
Yeah. He Tobat, he's complete fed all the way. But
I still don't get it. I probably never will.
But
oh well.
Yeah.
Fed.
But no, if we zoom out and look at the whole picture, though, a lot of this World Economic Forum stuff is tied in to entertainment. They have people in the entertainment industry as well. And, the message is being pushed. What this boils down to is, they're going to turn everything inside out. They're going to turn everything on its head. So everything that we grew up understanding logical and understanding actual reality is it's now they're saying that's not reality. Our reality is reality. They're creating the split reality so that, they normalize people not being able to have kids, or people, so gender confused by all these 52 fucking flavors that, I dropped an F. But no, they want people so confused so that people aren't reproducing, because the end game is population reduction by any cost. That is the biggest part of it. In all of this stuff by ESG, that's why they abandoned meritocracy. You don't see people getting hired to do jobs anymore based on their qualifications for the particular job. You see them getting hired for diversity reasons when they have no business doing that job. And I'll tell you what, one of these times, and I guarantee you it's kept under wraps with a lot of these companies, but I'll tell you, I wonder how many, if we look within the different companies that have departments of diversity and inclusion, how many hires have been made of people completely unqualified, and then that turned into a workplace accident because of their incompetence or things of that nature. So eventually this is going to catch up some way or another, because we're going to get whistleblowers from different fields that come out and say, hey, diversity hiring costs lives.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that somebody from OSHA already knows some good juicy details that we'll just have to wait till they finally can't deal with it again and start spilling their feelings about it.
Well, we already had a diversity system, or we had at least protection of, that's what the EEOC was for, and that's why you fill out EEOC paperwork when you get hired at a job, so that, it was what protected you from discrimination. You had, the ability to report anything at any time if you felt it was discriminatory,
So just to kind of push back a little bit, but not entirely. So there is a lot of diversity hiring, but we see that mostly in corporate or in the tech fields. We don't really see it so much in the blue collar or the actual things that, make the world turn, because those jobs are based on meritocracy. If you can't do the work, you're going to get shit canned. Also, a lot of these companies, they they're small businesses, so they're more owner operator controlled. They don't really have the corporate structure following behind it. Most of them don't really care about how if they're perceived to be diverse enough. They care if you know how to unclog a toilet.
Like a truck driver.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you have a
you're
clean
not going to
driving
see
record?
someone trying to drive a semi that doesn't know how to drive one.
Yeah, exactly. But in the corporate world, yes, we do see that. And unfortunately, the corporate world, and actually we see it within the government as well. I deal with the occasional government contractor, and I can tell you this is 100% true in the government. Both of them have a way of dealing with this, and it is by promoting incompetence. If you can prove that you are dangerous in your current job, they're going to give you a promotion where you'll get paid more money, you'll be put in charge of something, and they try and give you the least amount of power that they possibly can.
Yep.
I mean, it's scary, because thankfully in the trades, you're not going to see that happen. They're not going to change that because, man, if you get into construction, you got to know what you're doing. Like, I'll tell you what, just based on my experience watching these kids that are here doing the work on my home, to get it ready to be put on the market. The improvements that these kids are doing, man, they come in there, they work their asses up. But if they didn't know what they were doing, they wouldn't be working. I mean, so they're good workers and they understand the shit that they're doing.
They were using the table saw in the garage. We'd be cleaning up their thumbs.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep. That's exactly true.
Godzillionaire says the reason it won't change in the trades is because all the wokesters don't want those jobs. Yeah. And what's funny, Godzillionaire,
they don't want to get their hands dirty.
they actively discouraged, and this goes back to the point I was making earlier with BLM. They could have opened up trade schools and stuff in the more depressed areas or in the hood. You open up trade school, you teach kids, how to do construction or how to do factory work or things like that, but they won't or how to work on cars. They won't teach that because they don't want these kids to have actual success. They want to turn them into activists. They want to continue to make them feel like there's no way out except to live a life of crime or to commit crimes or steal in order to survive. But they're not stealing to survive. They're stealing because they've been taught that, hey, it's good to do this because you have no way out of the hood unless you do this.
And it's more money. I mean, if you get paid more money to not work, why would anyone want to get a job? And sweat and actually get dirty and have to take their clothes and wash them and stuff, when they can make more money just sitting on their ass at home watching TV. So,
yeah. Well, the worst part was that, again, we disincentivize working for your money when we had basically handed out money during COVID. And that absolutely killed a lot of people's work ethics because nobody, and I mean, it's hard any place you go right now to get, like let's say you even want to go through Taco Bell or go to McDonald's or something like that. You can't get your food in a timely manner because there's nobody working.
They can't get enough help. They can't fill all their in any job. I mean, any business, even the chicken plants, the restaurants, the construction, all that. They're having a hard time filling in all the spaces because people don't want to work.
It seems to me like the more more of the signs you see at these fast food restaurants, willing to pay you $13, $14, $15, $16 an hour. We'll give you a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 signing bonus. It seems like the more times you see, the more of these signs you see, and then you pull up to these places to get your food, it's like the service gets worse. There's less people working there. I mean, it just goes. Is it just that they're putting these signs up in the wrong locations, or is it just that there's definitely something askew on this?
Yeah, let's look at Wokebreaker's story here. He says, sadly, it's a real thing. They already know. I used to work LP. I'm assuming you worked for one of the retailers, and a guy with the bottle in his pants said I was stopping him because he was black. And the kicker to this whole thing, and I've talked with Wokebreaker before.
I'm not touching this one.
Wokebreaker's a black dude. He stopped another black dude, and he got called racist for stopping him. Like,
Where was that bottle? In his pocket?
No, in his pants.
I was sorry, his pants.
Mm-hmm.
Not touching it.
But the thing is like, it's funny, the total clown world aspect of this, because I mean, damn, man, it's just so stupid. But this is why this is happening, because it's all manipulated. And I mean, my goodness, we've already spent an hour on this. We got about 15-20 minutes left of the show, but I want to quickly get to the speaker vote, and I want to kind of shift.
I think we had like a minute for each time they voted.
And I just want to get to.
Sorry, couldn't help myself.
Yeah, thanks, Will. All right,
you're welcome. Love
but the thing is, when we look at our national politics, for example, again, we see the manipulation from the unelected, because the establishment has a firm hold on the House and the Senate. Okay, that has been a thing. We understand what the DC swamp is. Now, the 20 original holdouts during McCarthy's speaker voting, they did get some concessions, but there were a couple of them that completely flipped establishment, which tells me they were establishment from the jump. And I want to go out on the record, because I did it on Twitter, and say, look, I support Laura Loomer. All right, because she's been doing some good journalism the past week, and she's been in DC on the ground, actually questioning the Democrats and saying, hey, are you going to look into this that McCarthy did? Are you going to look into this? Crickets from the Democrats too. So she is proving that it's uniparty bullshit, that they're all in on it together, and they're protecting each other together. All right, MTG, everybody thought, oh, MTG's a MAGA darling, right? She's great. Well, you can pretty much read between the lines and the interactions and the pictures that you've seen over the past week and know that MTG is probably on the DL banging McCarthy. All right? But she is not a MAGA darling. She just had a media appearance. I forget what show she was on. I think it was on one of the Sunday talk shows, and she said that Joe Biden legitimately won the election. This lady is not an America First person. She's an America First of convenience. And that's why you need to pay attention to your representatives. We need to vet these people that they're actual patriots before we give them our vote.
It only takes 1 second for these people to be bought, unfortunately. It does, I mean, it's. I don't think it was as long as and as drawn out as a lot of the mainstream media are claiming it was.
Well, go ahead, Stephen.
I was just going to say, as far as like MTG goes, she's actually been talking about how she thinks the election was safe and fair and all of that pretty much the whole time. But it's one of those things of no politician is going to be perfect. So you got to take the good with the bad from these people, but you do have to call out the bad. And I agree, we should call her out on things where we think she's wrong. I think she's wrong about that. But at the same time, she was one of the few people who was actually trying to push forth at least more talks, if not trying to get the political prisoners held for the January 6th insurrection out of prison. She has been calling it out the whole time. So take a bit of good with bad on that. It's not the worst we have from politics.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. And until we're, I don't know, I'm going to give her a little more time to find out what happens in the next couple of months before I throw her under the bus. I mean, I wasn't happy with some of the things that I think I saw, but I only saw bits and pieces. So I wasn't there. And I don't know. So I'm just gonna be patient and just wait and see what happens until I can tell you right now, Crenshaw had a hard time.
Oh, Crenshaw!
I mean, did you see his hands? Did you see his hands after it was over? He had bruised up, tore up, bloody knuckles, like he went in the bathroom and bashed the walls with his fist because he was pissed. So he was not having a good day.
Well, Crenshaw.
Maybe he did.
Well, look.
Can't say I blame him.
Well, look, I. Patch McCain is 100% a sellout. All right. Trump. Why was Trump endorsing McCarthy? Yeah, that's a good question, Terminus. That is the issue here. I tend to go to the Stone Cold Steve Austin school on this one, you guys, and say, listen, DTA, don't trust anybody, because that is the way we have to look at it. All right. We need to vet the people we vote for. If they're not patriots, get the fuck out, because at this point, it's patriots versus traitors. That's how you need to look at it. It is not Democrat versus Republican. It's like George Carlin told you, it's a big club and we aren't in it. And everybody needs to realize it's patriots versus traitors. Plain and simple. And Mehdi brings up a great point. He said the Home Rule Clause, if used, will allow for removal of any federal employee by amendment or other means. This can clear embedded deep state employees like Newland in the State Department if they use it. And that's a big if, because, again, the people that actually are patriots, that demonstrate through their actions, through the things that they bring up, that they're patriots, they're very few and far between. They are outnumbered. Gates and Boebert, I trust that they're on Team Patriot, especially after Gates, as recently as today, went to the mat for the J6ers and says he wants all the footage out there. And yes, all the footage needs to be out there, because, you want to talk about a Drew rant? I got a Drew rant for you. And I'll tell you this right now, because I've been in Twitter Spaces 2 nights in a row talking about my experiences at J6. And I will go and stand up all day long with the people that did get arrested, that are being held right now unlawfully, because there's no reason. It's the United States of America. There's no reason to have political prisoners on American soil ever. It was wrong when we had the Asian scare during World War II and we had political prisoners, and it's wrong now. And there's no reason that should be happening. And the problem is they want to demonize anybody that thinks freely or anybody that questions the government, where the government is supposed to be working for us. And we had every right to question the election process. We had every right to question the motives of our elected officials. That is in the Constitution. That is our right as the people.
100%.
So the J6ers need justice. That footage should be out there for everybody to see, because that shem of a committee put a big bunch of bullshit lies out there, and it needs to be counteracted immediately.
Swear jar.
That's fine. I'll swear. You know what? The swear jar can take all of it. That's fine. Because, it makes me pretty dang mad.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. It's it's what they've been doing for so long too. They just manipulate any data that they can, and then they hold back the proof of their manipulations by claiming that it's national security for them to do it. And it's, our government was designed for the government itself to be completely transparent and for the population to be private, but we've had the complete
Mhm.
opposite happen over time, particularly starting with FDR and working its way up, World War II, Cold War, a lot of spying has become capable. And then with the Patriot Act, the most reverse name, the most oxymoronic name that you could have for a government bill, the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
They've made it to where the government is more private than ever, to where we're trying to have people extradited to our country who have shared information about our government's corruption. We have people like Snowden and Assange who were trying to, we want these people to be tried and executed. Well, we don't, but our government wants these people to be tried and executed because they exposed corruption within the government.
Of course, that was the whole reason the witch hunt for Trump, and that's the whole reason of the witch hunt for people that are truth speakers. They don't want that out there. They don't want people telling you the truth, like, oh, by the way, a lot of the quote shadow covert ops that we do are against our own citizens. A lot of the covert ops we do, oh, guess what? It's to topple regimes of other countries in order to basically puppet them for the United States. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Twitter files, we had WikiLeaks, we've had tons of proof, lots of evidence of different things that the government has done to us, and still nothing. See, that's why the people start to become black-pilled, because they believe that they can do whatever they want and there's no consequences for their actions. But boy, if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to end up in prison or lose your home or whatever. I mean, it's pathetic.
I'll go all the way. I mean, why not just go back 50 years? The Pentagon Papers. I mean, it's no different.
Well, yeah, but it was super controlled back then. It was very hard to actually get.
But it was the same. Listen, it was the same behavior, though. It was the same behavior.
It's the same behavior. Yes, that's a great point. But what I'm trying to tell you is the thing with Operation Mockingbird, with the infiltration of the media, the CIA being directly involved in the media, that's never ended. That's simply spread to social media, and they have it under a different name, but Mockingbird is still in play.
Probably have a different name down the line again. I mean,
you've never gotten away from that manipulation of the narrative. If anything, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
But what the point I'm trying to get to here is, we have to make sure that we get justice for the people that deserve it. And for the J6 people, they absolutely do deserve it. Look what the government has done. And this is the first example of political targeting, folks. The finest example is with Ashley Babbitt's family. Over this past week, her mom was arrested for jaywalking in D.C. Because she was with
people still get arrested for that.
Well, no, she was politically targeted.
Yeah, well, obviously
she was with some demonstrators. They were chanting for justice for Ashley Babbitt, things like that. They were going around D.C. and the cops busted her for quote jaywalking. They are targeting that family because they don't want them raising a stink. They don't want them basically calling out the Ashley Babbitt's murder. And I say murder because that's what it was. It was damn state-sanctioned murder. And to me, that was the most heinous thing of all on January 6th. And all of these, progressive fucktards that want to equate it to 9/11 and everything else. The tragedy of that day, the real tragedy, is you had a veteran that was murdered by the state for no other good reason other than she was a patriot and they wanted to paint her as an enemy. And now they are doing the same thing to her family. That poor family's nightmare is not ending because they are targeting the survivors.
I can only hope they make it out of this alive.
Absolutely. And Small Time Republic, you are spot on, buddy. Ashley was the only J6 death. Absolutely. So
wasn't well. I mean, there were a couple of people who were killed in the crush, but that's a bit different. You know, you can't.
yeah,
Yeah. Are we going to blame, Rolling Stones or any other band when there's a crush at one of their concerts? Hell, there was one like a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who it was, but
yeah.
as far as killings, I'll say that should be the caveat. Ashley Babbitt was the only killing.
Yes.
I don't want to call it. I don't want to be I don't want to be cavalier and call it like collateral damage. It's not quite. I wouldn't go there, but yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I watched the video over and over again, trying to understand why he targeted her, because she wasn't even the closest one to the door.
No,
It didn't make any sense except that he saw a woman and he just wanted to shoot her. I mean, that's the only thing I could even think of.
If you look into the officer, if you look into Bird, he had a history of being trigger happy. So the guy was borderline as an employee as it was, but it was just the whole 9 yards of that situation. There's no good reason that woman was murdered, and she was murdered. And Mehdi is spot on here. And you're right about that. Yes, Tolbat. He did. All
Just
right,
like Michael Corleone.
Let's go ahead and wind this down. A couple things I want to mention before I let everybody do their outros, folks. Right now we have obviously I have a Gibson Go going on for the stuff I'm doing with my house. And, during this time, I definitely need some help. They had an overrun on expenses. And, I've been working my butt off here at home trying to get everything situated. And, as I said, we just need a little help. Right now, we've gotten a lot of action so far on the Gibson Go. But let's share it real quick, and I'll show you where we're at with it. So currently, the goal is $2,510. We've raised $1,010 so far, so we're only $1,500 away from what's needed to hit the goal. Right now, the biggest things that we need is the furnace repair. Needs to be taken care of. The let's see, where are we at? We just got the dumpster, the plumber, because we need a plumber to come in and get a obstruction out of the kitchen area drain. We also have the landscape debris haul away, and of course a new kitchen sink, because the contractors are not doing the kitchen sink. I have to replace that out of my own pocket. So that's some of the things that are still on the list that we need help with. So if you can help, or even just share out the Gibson Go, it's gibsongo.com/Taylor Home Project. It's a huge help, and we're almost to the goal. If we could get to the finish line on this, it'd be awesome. And, again, we only need $1,500 to get there. So thank you so much for those of you that do share it out. And just getting it in front of eyes helps, because everybody on social media has some sort of reach, and it does help. So thank you, and God bless you for all of your help with this, and just supporting the channel and everything that we do here. So thank you. All right, let me go around the panel, and let's let everybody talk to what they're doing right now. And we will start with Will. Go ahead and let everybody know what you have going on.
Well, I hate to disrupt my reputation of not having anything going on, so I'll just stick with that. But I definitely had some stuff going on the last couple of days. A little bit of a health scare, a little bit of anaphylaxis going on. Got past that just in time for my computer to crash. I don't know if anybody noticed the herky jerkiness of my screen tonight, but I'm running this off my phone. I think I did okay. As for the language that was used by people I will not identify by name tonight, I just, on behalf of the show, would like to apologize to the good people at YouTube.
All right. So Time Prophet says, Will, you have very interesting nostril hairs. You should start a nostril channel. You know, Free Speech Gaming says, Will doesn't have any links to share. So we have willisfed.com. Nice.
I think that's trademarked, but I'll have to look into that.
Oh, man.
It's all right. I put in the trademark. You're safe.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Always looking out for me.
Yeah. And looking out for people is our next gentleman's forte, and that is Mr. Free Speech Gaming, aka Steven. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to another excellent week. I was talking to Ords about this a couple of weeks ago. I think 2023 is going to be a better year. And I got to say, you know, we didn't really get to talk about the whole McCarthy thing. And while I don't think anybody here likes McCarthy, we do have to at least admit that this is basically the best situation we could get out of something like this going on, short of having someone completely outside of the political realm as speaker. But I digress. As for what I got going on Friday, you can find me over on my second channel, Blast from the Past Reviews. Links will be dropping in the chat here real soon. This week is just myself and Megan of the New Reviews, just talking about stuff for an hour or so. Then afterwards, you can find me on Ord's Board, his main channel, for the Friday night after party. You'll see some of the people from the chat in there, like Phil TMNT. He was in here earlier. You'll see him. We talk a lot of shit to Phil. He is unfortunately the butt of most of our jokes. He takes it pretty well, though. And then on Sundays, you can find me on Ord's live channel, Ord's World, for the Sunday morning podcast. And that's about it.
Yeah, and thanks, Steven, as always, for being here, man. You do such a good job with this show and for helping. So it's much appreciated. And, you know, don't forget, by the way, folks, we're efforting to get some guests. I'm still trying to figure out the scheduling with Laura Loomer, but at some point she'll be on because she follows me on Twitter and we talk in DM, and there's other people that I'm looking into getting on here. So journalist wise, because I like to try to bring on like fellow journalists and people like that, but I'm going to try to continue to reach out to interesting guests and get them on. Also, our J6 stream that we want to have where we get on some of the J6 detainees. I'm still working on that as well, but we got a lot of guest stuff in the works. So we will definitely keep you guys in the loop about that. So let's go over to Janet and let her talk about what she has going on, you know, because every week she classes up the joint. So
A little.
well, yeah, I know. You got us bringing you down. All right, so here's Janet.
Thank you for letting me be on your panel, Drew. I really appreciate it that you care enough to actually like what I had to say. But on Monday nights, I do movie reviews with Bruce Lombardi of the Dick's Division. And next Monday night, we'll be reviewing the movie Pitch Black with Vin Diesel. And then Tuesday night, I'll be here again. And I'll be doing more shorts from my channel because that's what I do. And I'll also be reading some more from my book. It's been a real busy new year and a lot of things going on around my house and stuff. So I haven't been able to really do as much as I've been wanting to. But I appreciate everybody, and thank you very much for subbing to my channel, because I do not ask in any of my videos for people to sub to me, because I feel like if they want to see more, they will. And but I appreciate everybody, and I thank you for liking me. And I hope to see you next week here again.
Yeah, Janet is doing really good, folks. Please support her and her content, because she's really putting in a great effort, and she's got some good stuff out there, from the shorts that she does to the other stuff with Bruce. I mean, it's awesome. Janet is really good in this community, and man, she's family. So that's how I look at it. Now,
Ditto.
as far as I go, folks, as I said, like right now, things are hectic with everything going on with the house. I feel like things are starting to turn the corner. Talked to the realtor today. Hopefully, when the contractors wrap up, probably I want to say about the last week of January, we should be moving to get the home on the market. So fingers crossed that we can continue to be on schedule and hit that goal to get the house on the market and everything else without a hitch. And I'm looking forward to move it. I really am, because when the house gets sold and I can get that new start, it's going to really be a life changer. And I think it's going to turn the corner on a lot of things, because this past year, ever since Mama Heretic died, I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and I'm just looking forward to getting a clean slate, if you will. It's gonna be a real help, I think, emotionally and physically. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm trying to keep hope that will happen. I should hopefully, because I just requested a little bit out of the Give Send Go for a payout. Hopefully, here in the next 72 hours, I got a little bit of of cash in the bank. We'll cross our fingers on that one. When you use one of these services, whether it be GoFundMe or Give Send Go, it usually takes the 48 to 72 to get you a payout. So I was telling Will, it's funny. I have to kind of go on a 48-hour hunger strike, because I've gotten rid of a lot of the old stuff in my cabinets, old food and stuff like that in the house. And
I don't think that's actually what it's called. Hunger strike. I don't think I think it's called something else in your case. But,
basically, I don't. Yeah, I can't get.
Like, you might as well just say, it just happens to coincide with the fact that I'm beginning a ritual fast, so it all works out, right?
Well, no, I can't eat until Friday. It's basically what it is. It's because I have $4.22 to my name till Friday, but somehow
I might as well just announce this now. Then I was able to move some stuff around, so I will come out tomorrow, and I'll buy you at least one meal. So I do what I can. Yeah, if you're welcome.
There we go. I might get lunch.
Oh, Will's so sweet.
Yeah, well, I spend enough time around Janet; it rubs off.
But thank you again, folks, for your continued support of the channel. Thanks to Tony for that $2 super chat earlier, and thanks for continuing to share the Give Send Go, because that really helps, even if it just puts it in front of different eyes. So thank you again, and we love having you every week in the chat, because we are fighting them until we can't. I love all of you in the audience, because without you, there is no us. And you make the show go. We just bring it to you. You guys make the show go. So thank you so much for just being here and supporting and watching the content. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and Yeah, there's always wait. I can't believe these lies, Will.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm E. Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up, what up, what up?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Vinny.
The voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear.
What's going on, Tommy? You get anybody to like this?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tone Death rocking.
I mean, we have a lot of cool things over there. I did some magic tricks.
Hi, guys. Try to stay here.
My name is Monkey Knight.